Merry meet, guys, and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I am your Wednesday host, Houston, and this week, week 9 on season 7, we are talking about sigils and how we use them in our practice and a little bit about them. I swear from a past season or so we've talked about it. I remember talking about it because I showed you guys my personal sigil notebook, which, weirdly enough, I don't have on me at the moment. Um, but I remember, I think it was maybe last season's when we talked about words have power. I think I touched on sigil magic then. But sigils can be used in a variety of ways. You find sigils all throughout history and all throughout the occult. Um, whether they are like sigils of the Necronomicon or sigils to call in the angels. Sigils are basically visual representations that are created by forging together letters, numbers, alchemical symbols, um, any type of symbol to one cohesive image that relays an intent. And I really hope that kind of made sense. I did not go off a dictionary. This is something that I've kind of, and my personal explanation of it, I guess. So I hope that made sense. But it's a visual representation of your intention, created with the letters, numbers, other symbols like symbols of the planets, zodiac, things of that nature, and create into one cohesive image to kind of relay your intent and focus your energy. I know that's not the best. I'm thinking in my head that's not really the um, best explanation, but I do believe people that want to know more about sigils. There's tons of videos on YouTube about sigils and how to make them. So that's not one thing that I will talk. Well, I'll talk about how I make them, and from there I'll talk about how I use them in my practice and how they can be used, and different ways you can be used them. So, how I make a sigil, and it's kind of difficult if I don't have pen and paper, but we'll go about it. Is first I write down my intention. So if my intention can be one word or it can be a sentence, and if it's a sentence, I like to have my intention that it's already happened. So in the future or in the present tense. So like I've want to make a sigil for a money spell or money candle. So I would say something or write something like money is flowing to me continuous. Money is flowing to me nonstop. Money is flowing to me continuously. Money is flowing to me abundantly. That's a better. I don't know why my words are escaping me tonight. Money is flowing to me abundantly. I would use that, and then I would go through and start with, and break it down to where there's no repeating letters in it, and that makes kind of a mantra in itself. So I would start off with the M, and then go throughout and see if there's any more M's and mark them out, and then O, and see if there's any more O's in that statement and mark those out, and go throughout the line, and have that new word or the new phrase, and then from that phrase I create a sigil, making the letters big or small, or in a different, can be used in a different alphabet system, I guess you could say. Instead of English, you could use something like Theban or Greek, or anything you can think of, or the runes, what have you. I usually do a lot of my stuff either in runic form or in English. It's just easier for me to understand and to meld an image. I do use sigils a lot. I do find that it's a fun and, I wouldn't say simple way to do magic, because when you're creating the sigil, you're already starting magic. It's not like you have to set a circle up or set your space up. I mean, you can if you want. You totally can, but I don't. Um, when I'm creating sigils or creating a sigil for something, I am so focused on that intent while creating it, marking out the letters, figuring out how to phrase it, marking out the letters, and then creating it and getting a better version of it and printing that out and using it in a spell, putting it on a candle, or writing my petition on the back of said paper, you know, with the sigil on it or whatever, or adding it to a mojo bag. It's that the whole process of creating a sigil is you enacting the spell and putting your intent and focus into the sigil itself. And the sigil, I've said a ton of times this video, I apologize. But when working with them, there are many things you can do. I don't think there are, English escapes me tonight. I don't think there are any ways that you could perform magic that a sigil wouldn't come in handy or couldn't be used. You could have a particular sigil to help you cast a circle. You could have a particular sigils to call in the elements, to have on your elemental candles that you create yourself. I do believe that sigils that you create yourself have a little bit more power than those that you find online, because there are tons of sigils online. And I'm not saying that the sigils that you find, you know, in the Necronomicon, they don't have power. They do. They certainly do. And the sigils, I don't know if yeah, we can consider them sigils. And the keys, lesser keys of Solomon, to call on angels and things of that nature. You know, so that it could be used for basically almost anything. I know I just did 2 representations, saying you can use them for the elements, you can use them to call your circle, you can use them to create a protection around your house, you can use them to charge particular items. Now what I do is I do have something set up where I use a sigil to protect my house. I'm not going to show you because unfortunately this is my computer, not a moving camera or a handheld camera. But I do have, as soon as you walk into the house, there's a mirror hanging on the door that's facing out the door. And behind that mirror, I've created a sigil for protection, and I charged it with protection. I usually change them out during the Sabbats or during the full moon. It depends on when I feel it needs to be changed, when, you know, it needs to be changed out. Which reminds me, I haven't done it recently. But the full moon's tomorrow, so I won't. Actually, the full moon's Wednesday, today and tomorrow, so the 10th and the 11th. So I'll do it today, later today when I get off work. Since you're seeing this on Wednesday, I'm recording it on Tuesday. But what I do is I create a sigil for protection. I anoint it with protection oil, either standard protection oil or St. Michael, the Archangel protection oil, and I charge it with intent to protect the house, and I also charge the mirror that it's going behind to reflect any negativity that comes in the house or tries to come in the house, reflect back. And I have that sigil set up there, but I also made copies of it, and I've done the same thing, and I have it set up throughout the house behind different pictures and things. So if something does manage to come in, then there's a lot of different ways that, or a lot of different protection spells to kind of negate the negativity. Another thing you can do is if you are working on another thing, if you are a energy healer or work with energy in any way, and you want to work with sigils, but you also want to work on yourself or work with people distantly, you can create a sigil of your name or the person's name, and you can send and visualize that the sigil is the person. It's a big thing in energy healing, is the sympathetic magic between the object and the person. So visualize the sigil being the person and send healing energy to the sigil, knowing that it will relay to the person or to yourself. That's something that you could do. That just popped into my head. So yeah, there are tons of ways sigils can be used. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or think that I could have explained something a little bit better, write me below in the comment section, or tune in to see what my co-hosts talk about. They could be covering stuff that I'm not that. Apparently tonight words escape me, so their diction may be better. So with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Many blessings, and until next week.